Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We'd like to present to you 3 articles of interest. And before I do that, I would like to let you know that this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. It's not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which in this case is Viral Chatter, and the story by Nancy Mafia with 2 F's. Headline reads, Revolutionary jet engines without moving parts takes flight. A new era in aviation has arrived with the delivery of the world's first wave engines. Power plants so revolutionary they could make traditional jet engines obsolete. Unlike turbines with spinning blades, these engines use pressure waves to generate thrust, offering unmatched simplicity, efficiency, and versatility. With potential to power everything from drones to VTOL aircraft, wave engines promise to reshape flight as we know it, cleaner, cheaper, and ready for the skies of tomorrow. Excuse me. And if you're not familiar with the acronym VTOL, stands for Vertical Takeoff and Landing Aircraft. And ahead of us, we have a picture here. One second. We have a picture here entitled New Era of Jet Propulsion. And you can clearly see the picture of this jet. Caption reads, Image credit goes to Wave Engine Corporation via YouTube. Wave engines represent a paradigm in the aircraft propulsion. Unlike traditional jet engines that rely on rotating machinery, these innovative power plants harness pressure wave to generate thrust. The engine cycle begins with a mixture of fuel and air in the combustion chamber. Upon ignition, the temperature and pressure rise, expelling hot gases from both ends of the tube. This creates thrust for high-speed flight and a partial vacuum that draws in fresh air to repeat the cycle. Excuse me. The result is a mechanically simple, lightweight engine that offers fuel efficiency comparable to a conventional jet engine. Wave engines also boast advantages such as affordability, mid-air restart capability, and the ability to burn various fuels, including sustainable options like bioethanol-based E8S or it's like an A, E8S. And here we have a picture of this small little drone jet here. And it says it's entitled Proven Performance and Versatility. It's a J1 wave engine and it has a remote start. The caption reads, Image credit Wave Engine Corporation via YouTube. Wave Engine Corporation has already demonstrated the capabilities of its J1 engine in flight. In March, a 50-plus LBF 222 plus N thrust wave engine powered a 100-pound, 45-kilogram UAV, showcasing remote instant start on liquid fuel. The company has developed engines ranging from 50 pounds per farads, I believe that's LB, which is Latin accurate abbreviation for pounds, and F. That has 222 newtons, which is capital N standing for newtons, which is the unit of energy, of thrust suitable for aircraft weighing over 100 pounds and 1,000 pounds. And ahead of you, they have a related video entitled J1 Engine Complete Flight Footage. And that is an embedded video on YouTube. We'll only be able to access the link, not in the comment section of YouTube, but I will include the comments. Actually, I will include in the comment section the link to my YouTube channel and the name of my YouTube channel. These engines are full flexible, capable of operating on gasoline, which is 87 octane kerosene-based fuel, that is Jet A/JP-8, and sustainable ethanol-based biofuel E8S. or E85, sorry. The versatility makes Wave engines attractive for a wide range of applications from small drones to larger aircraft. In 2019, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, otherwise known as DARPA, awarded Wave Engine Corporation a $2.85 million contract to continue engine development for high-performance UAV applications. The following year, the company's propulsion system powered the first aircraft flight using Wave engine technology. If you're not familiar with that actual acronym of UAV, it stands for Unmanned Aerial Vehicle. And the future of engine of aviation. Let me grab some water here. The future of aviation. Excuse me. Ahead of you see this actual plane, albeit small, and the caption reads, "Image credit Wave Engine Corporation via YouTube." As the aviation industry seeks more efficient, affordable, environmentally friendly propulsion solutions, that is, Wave engines offer a promising path forward. Their simplicity and low cost could revolutionize design and production of jet-powered aircraft, making them more accessible and economical to operate. Moreover, the ability to burn sustainable biofuels aligns with the industry's goal of reducing its carbon footprint. As wave engine technology continues to advance, its potential to play a significant role in shaping the future of aviation. Wave Engine Corporation is also working with larger K-1 engine that promises up to 200 pounds farads, I believe. That's 979 newtons of thrust for powering aircraft weighing up to 1,000 pounds or 454 kilograms. The company believes this technology has potential for larger commercial applications and a new class of high-speed vertical takeoff and landing, or VTOL, aircraft. The successful delivery of Wave Engine Corporation's J-1 engines marks a major milestone in development of this technology. As more customers integrate Wave engines into their aircraft designs, we can expect to see a new generation of jet-powered vehicles taking to the skies, ushering a new era of aviation innovation. And the source, of course, comes from Wave Engine Corporation. All right. Let's continue on to the second article. And as usual, and before I do that, I would like to let you know that this is for review, informational, and educational purposes. It's not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which in this case is BuzzHint, and the story by Sarah Wilson. The headline reads, Jet Zero's blended wing aircraft achieves FAA certification, paving the way for test flights. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the slides. I'm going to explain the significance of each one. Jet Zero, which is this one right here, this is the actual plane here, or jet actually. Jet Zero, renowned for its innovative aircraft designs, has achieved a significant milestone in the mission to transform air travel. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, has granted an airworthiness certificate to Pathfinder, the company's cutting-edge blended wing demonstrator aircraft. This certification paves the way for test flights, bringing the vision of a radically imagined future of air travel one step closer to reality. Let's go to our second one here. And of course you can see this is a large airliner right here. The Pathfinder demonstrator aircraft, a scaled down model, features a 23-foot or 7-meter wingspan, which is 12.5% the size of a full aircraft. A Jet Zero enthusiast LinkedIn announcement says, "Now let's go fly," suggests that we may soon witness video footage of the Pathfinder taking its inaugural flight. And for our third one here, we can see sort of two of them, sort of one on top of the other. And the blended wing concept, this is all one aircraft? Okay. Maybe that's all one aircraft. Looks like two of them. The blended wing the blended wing concept is an interesting departure from the standard jetliner format. As the name implies, the design integrates the fuselage and the wings of the aircraft into a single continuous aerodynamic shape resembling a flying wing. There are many advantages to this unique approach. The prominent ones include a significant improvement in fuel efficiency. As for the fourth one, we see sort of a side view of it, and it boldly states that the blended wing design of the aircraft could use up to 50% less fuel than traditional jets. This massive jump in fuel efficiency will have far-reaching implications for airlines, reducing operational costs and opening up opportunities for longer range and previously less viable transcontinental flights. That should be huge because that will bring down the cost of operation and ultimately the cost of tickets as well to the consumer. And here we see kind of a formation of an air show. Looks like they're putting on some sort of air show here, as you can see in the picture. Probably most importantly, the blended wing design comes at a time of increased environmental awareness in the world of aviation. Coupled with sustainable power sources such as battery electric, hydrogen, or ammonia fueled systems, the concept may just hold the key to low-emission aircraft in the future. The blended wing design is a fascinating departure from the standard jetliner format, said Jet Zero's chief engineer. Here we can see, it looks like, is that a refueling on the aircraft? So you can see right here. The blended wing design makes things easier on passengers too. The full expensive layout allows more room for both passengers and cargo, possibly taking away the cramped fueling many people associate with long-haul flights. For our next slide, we see two jet planes. It's like fighter jet planes, in fact. For some time, Jet Zero has engaged in detailed design collaborations with major industry players such as the U.S. Air Force, NASA, and FAA, along with testing phases for bringing the blended wing design, or blended wing concept that is, to reality by 2030. All these efforts got an additional fillip when, in August 2023, they won a contract with the U.S. Air Force to produce a full-size prototype by 2027. For our next one, we have a picture of what looks like SR-71 Blackbird. And by the way, they just came up with SR-72, which I think probably this week or sometime I'm gonna give a full review on that. The blended wing is within reach with recent advancements by Airbus, Zerovia, and others. The Jet Zero's chief engineer aptly stated, quote, "Who knows, we may be just a decade away from experiencing the futuristic aircraft design increased spaciousness and efficiency," unquote. Related images you might be interested in. For our next one, it looks like they are about to take off. You see all this smoke here. For the next one, we have sort of a large jet. Looks like with 4 engines on the wing. Next one, it looks like there's a refueling from a larger jet to a smaller jet. And then we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 planes flying in formation. Then we have a large passenger jet. And then we have 2 other large planes. It looks like it's a refueling plane. And our last one is a jet. Looks like, I don't know if this is the Harrier or the F-35. You see its afterburner here, and it's taking off. So that will do it for the second article. Quite interesting. There's not a lot of text, but there's a lot of pictures. And as the Chinese proverb goes, a picture means 1,000 words. Let's go to our third and final article of the review. And before I do that, I would like to let you know that this is for review, informational and educational purposes. It's not to take the credit for the intellectual property of the article. The full credit to the intellectual property of the article goes to the publisher, which in this case is Fortune, and a story by Jason Ma. The headline reads, "The corporate exodus from China is gaining momentum," study says. Now, actually, I watched all of this video. This is quite informative. It's a related video from Fortune. It says, Global Forum 2024, China Outlook Adapting to New Realities. Yeah, the new realities are not good realities for them. However, there was an unfortunate binding of countries to China to produce things that weren't of the highest quality but just were cheap, because also the companies were at fault because they were greedy and they just wanted cheap labor. So I'm a big proponent of paying people what they're worth. If this certain skill or a certain product is worth something, I mean, you can negotiate to get a little cheaper price based upon quantity or other terms or other things you can barter for, but the actual employees themselves should be paid what they're worth. Paid what you're worth is a very subjective statement. It's a matter of opinion of what something is worth. But if you look at the actual average of said job in its job description, you'll get an industry average, and at the very least, you should be able to pay the industry average. Otherwise, they shouldn't be in business, in my opinion. But anyway, this video will be available upon publishing of this review. But it won't be I won't have the link to this article because YouTube actually does flag videos that have links to articles for whatever strange reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the name of my Rumble channel and the link to my Rumble channel, and in there you'll have the link to this article. And once you go to the link, you'll be able to watch the video. So to the article itself. Even before President-elect Donald Trump and his tariff-heavy agenda won the White House, top companies were already planning to shift production out of China at a faster pace, according to a new study. Based on a survey of 166 CEOs and COOs, Bain & Company found that the share of companies moving operations out of China climbed to 69% in 2024 from 55% in 2022. I'm actually surprising it's not much more than that, considering that there's been issues with the economy and other issues for the past at least 5 to 6 years. So, yeah. Where will they go? The top destination was the Indian subcontinent, with 39% of executives or execs saying they were headed there. That was followed by 16% moving to the US or Canada, 11% to Southeast Asia, 10% to Western Europe, and 8% to Latin America, running out the top 5 destinations. Meanwhile, more companies are, quote, reshoring operations to their home countries, or, quote, nearshoring, unquote, to neighboring countries. So in this case, what we're dealing with is, or what they're referring to is, companies moving to Vietnam, companies moving to Thailand, and possibly companies moving to Laos, as even Thailand, ironically, or not, they are actually outsourcing their production to Laos. So it is what it is. The survey conducted in July found that the share of executives who companies have plans to bring supply chains closer to the market soared to 81% this year from 61% in 2022. That includes the emerging trend of split shoring, where there's a mix of offshore production and manufacturing close to home. And you see a picture of, looks like they're doing some sort of welding. And the caption reads, the share of companies are moving operations out of China jumped to 69% in 2024 from 55% in 2022, a Bain survey said. Copyright Getty Images. So if the trend keeps going, the trajectory will just lead to eventually 0%, or actually, 100% out of China, and 0% in China. All right. Why companies move? Bain attributed the trend to growing geopolitical uncertainties and rising costs. Of course, the second option, or the second consideration, is the greater consideration, because in business there's always the bottom line, which is the cost. But for U.S. companies, which made up 39% of the survey, the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act was another factor in reshoring operations, it added. One of President Joe Biden's signature domestic policy achievements, the act offers incentives and tax credits in key areas like green energy technologies. Another Biden initiative called the CHIPS Act, as CHIPS in capital letters, Act, also encouraged domestic production of semiconductors, which is what makes computers run. To be sure, there are a range of issues that factor into a company's supply chain decisions. Bain's 2022 survey showed that the geopolitics, which includes tariffs, regulations, and inflation, was a leading consideration. But labor conditions, climate, environmental characteristics, as well as catastrophe risks like natural disasters, terrorism, and health threats were also top of mind. The risk of relying too heavily on Chinese factories becomes evident when Trump imposed tariffs on Beijing during his first term as part of his, quote, America First economic policies. Supply chain disruptions during the pandemic also highlighted the need for more diversification. Then Biden retained Trump's China tariffs, imposed curbs on U.S. investment in China, and encouraged more domestic production. And for his second term, Trump has vowed to hike tariffs across the board, including stiffer duties on China. Yes, what they're talking about is 100%. So that's a little bit severe. Trump tariffs and China's economy. Higher U.S. tariffs on China could deal another severe blow to the world's second largest economy, which has already been slammed by a real estate crash, debt woes, and even pockets of deflation. That's because exports are one of China's key economic engines, though Beijing's flurry of stimulus measures has shown some signs of boosting domestic consumption. Still, the flood of cheap exports China has been sending around the world prompt their countries to impose more trade barriers against Beijing. Meanwhile, foreign investment into China has been a 3-year slump that continued last quarter. Despite China's efforts to revive growth, foreign investment is down by $13 billion for the first 9 months of the year. And the author liked to point out that the story was originally featured on Fortune.com. Yes, actually, I saw, because I was actually in China at the time, so I was able to see more of a primary source perspective, and I was seeing actually that the start of the decline actually started in 2018. So, not 2020, not even 2019, but 2018 I started seeing a decline. So, yeah. You can only play a certain type of hardcore politics for so long, can only steal intellectual property, can only leverage people out, can only have unfair trade practices so long before there is a pushback and before things are reciprocated, which I do believe in reciprocation, because that's the only way to get respect from the people you trade from, and that's the only way that you can ensure that you're on a level playing field. Just my opinion, but you guys can have your own. So before I finish the review, I would like to ask you a question about the review, namely the 3 articles. The first one is, revolutionary jet engines without moving parts take flight. The second one is, Jet Zero's blended wing aircraft achieves FAA certification, paving the way for test flights. And the third one is, the corporate exodus from China is gaining momentum, study says. What do you think of those 3 articles? Are they interesting? Are they relevant to your life? And do they give enough information? You're welcome to give your opinion in the comments below. But just keep in mind that I want to keep this civil and polite, as we're trying to add something positive to the experience. If you do have an opinion about what articles you would like to see in the future, I'm open to hearing that. But we would need to keep, or I would need to keep, these articles related to current events in science and technology. So if you have something relating to those categories, that I'm interested in hearing it. Otherwise, What I'll do is I'll continue putting out these great articles that I actually go through. So I actually look at the most interesting articles from the perspective as if I was reading it myself and I was part of the demographic. So that's what it is. So I'd like to take this time to thank you for watching this article, as you could be watching any other science and technology or current events article, but you watch mine, so I greatly appreciate it. As this did provide value for you to be informed about the up-to-date news regarding current events in science and technology, what I'd like you to do is please click like on the video. That way I'll be pushed to the algorithm and more people will be able to view it and enjoy it. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That way I'll have access to all the content on this channel, as I certainly have a variety of content on this channel for you to view and enjoy. Also, if you haven't already, please click the bell button. That way you'll be notified of all my future videos. So I'd like to wish you a great day wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.